Good afternoon. You're watching LNA Now with Barry and Jenny. I am Jenny Nagel.
I'm Barry Eichner, and Jenny, Florida outweighs you today. We've got guests in the house and a host in the house from the state of Florida. We are super pumped to be back, getting ready for another phenomenal webisode today. But today is going to be a little bit of business with a little bit of skincare. So we're really pumped to be able to help estheticians learn more about botanical and organic skincare, specifically an amazing treatment that we have from this amazing sponsor who I'm purposely being vague about, along with the opportunity to learn how to build your own private label skincare, not only brand, but treatments that you can brand for your spa or skincare business. So we've got Kristen from Trilogy Labs, who is the manufacturer of the skincare line called ID Skincare Pro. How are you today, Kristen?
I'm great. Thanks, Barry. And thanks, Jenny.
We are so excited to have you here today because we've tapped in a little bit to some of the ID Skin Pro treatments and love every single one that we've tried. Specifically, you guys have this cleansing bar that I happen to be obsessed with. But I love that you are with us today to talk about specific treatments and specific options to really pique the interest of the estheticians, and then maybe trickle in some private skincare options that'll help them grow their business.
Definitely.
So the thing that I also think is really interesting about Trilogy is, Kristen, you own it with your husband, who is is he a plastic surgeon or a dermatologist?
Plastic surgeon.
And so can you just give us a little bit of how the two of you have worked together because you never thought that you were going to own a skincare company. You told me that you were just sort of like trying to run his business, and you ended up buying a skincare company because that seemed to be the next right thing to do.
Yeah, it happened kind of like that. I actually was a consultant in the drug development industry and pharmaceutical industry for a number of years. I have a doctoral degree in pharmacy, and during the young practice years when he was in practice, I would help him kind of manage his practice, and especially when he wanted to do a private skincare line. Private label, I helped him to source all those products. And so that I got familiar with the industry of private label. And at the same time, I was still developing prescription drugs for multiple companies. And at that point, I said to him, listen, we can do this ourselves. You know, we're the options that we had from certain manufacturers, they weren't great. You couldn't control what went in the products. You couldn't control what didn't go in the products. You couldn't control the packaging very well. So we cobbled together this line from about 4 different manufacturers, and it just didn't look cohesive, and it didn't look professional, and it didn't look what, the image that he wanted it to be. So we started the company. We actually did an asset purchase from a small company that was local, and we started making products, and we just have never looked back. And we're almost 9 years in now, and we have a lot more customers now. Originally we just did it for ourselves, basically, and then we realized, gosh, there's a real need out there for a small batch manufacturer that can service the needs of physician offices, salons and spas, and even e-businesses that don't have the ability to purchase 5,000 to 10,000 pieces at a time. So that's how it all got started.
And Jenny, isn't that the best story? She told me that when I went over there to take a tour, and I thought, nothing like, can you see you and I doing that? We should just start our own manufacturing business. So I love that, Kristen, I really do. Also, you've been holding out. I didn't know you had a PhD in pharma. What did you say it was? Pharmaceutics?
It's a doctoral degree in pharmacy. So it's a PharmD.
Okay, so you got a husband and wife doctor team duo building a lab that now manufactures skincare products. So I think that people should pretty much be able to sleep well at night knowing they're getting high quality products.
And out of necessity. I think that is the key to every successful business story, is that you saw something missing in the marketplace. You did it literally for selfish reasons to create something that you needed. And then you're like, wait, if we need this, we can't be the only ones that need this. And you saw that it can be a challenge for small businesses that really want to dive into this, like to that overhead that comes along with it can be so overwhelming. So the fact that you guys created an option for a smaller scale is genius. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's been really fun. It's not like going to work. It's just really, we're passionate about it.
That's kind of how we feel every day.
Yeah.
So now I know that today you have a slide deck and some video on a facial that you all sell as an ID Skin Pro product, but you also are going to give a little bit of information on how estheticians and spas can put their own brand on your bottles so that they are getting the product recognition from their clients each and every day. So you're going to talk a lot about private labeling. So do you want to go ahead, Jenny? Are we ready to start the show, Jen?
We can rock and roll. Well, Kristen, you can rock and roll, and we will be here kind of behind the scenes for any technical issues or questions. If anyone in the audience does have questions about the organic facial that Kristen talks about specifically, or as we get into the private labeling aspect, feel free to drop your questions in the Q&A and we will chime in and continue the conversation with Kristen.
Okay, are you guys seeing my screen and my slide deck?
Not yet.
Oh,
Not yet.
do you see this? Not yet?
Not yet.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Let's see why it's not working.
The wonderful world of Zoom. There you go.
There we go.
Now you got it. Okay,
You're good.
let's start it from the top here.
Best way to go. There you go, Kristen. So it's all you. You're ready to rock and roll.
Is it showing correctly? There we go. Now
There
you've
you
got
go.
the start. Okay, great. So welcome to ID Skin. We already did a little bit of the story. When I'll just say, go back one step, when we did the asset purchase, as you know, for my husband's line, we actually also got an esthetician line because the company that we purchased was started by an esthetician and she had her own line. So this line goes back to the year 2000. It is a line of skincare products for professionals. It's made by professionals for professionals. We do no direct to consumer sales, and I think that's really important. We're here to support the professional and not to, have you educate the patient and then take the sale on some other channel. We focus all of our products on high activity ingredients. We have multiple collections, and what I've got in this slide here is just showing you 2 of the collections. We have about 75 SKUs. All of those SKUs are available for private label. So this is where you can actually start using the ID Skin line in your salon or spa, and you can see which products you like, and then you can private label those as you build that confidence with the product. So the best place to see the products is on idskinpro.com, and you can become a partner and put in your license, and then you'll have access to everything, including product information, pricing, and everything else. So what I'm going to talk about today is our Organic Plus products. And these are, they're actually a standalone type of a collection, or they can be blended with others as well. So I'm going to try to share this video on the Organic Plus. Where am I going?
And you guys, as Kristen pulls up her video to show you the demo, we have details in an article on lipglossandaftershave.com where we will link in the chat for you guys that you guys can read a little bit more about this and actually get the entire protocol. So we'll pop that link in and we can enjoy the video too.
Hi, I'm Sarah DiMaria, and I am the product educator here at ID Skin. And today I'm going to be showing you how to do a basic facial with our Organic Plus line incorporated with some of our other products as well. The first product that we're going to start out this facial with is going to be the ID Skin Organic Plus Wild Plum Toner. First, we're going to mist it over the client to give them a little bit of aromatherapy. So we just take it and mist over our client so they get a nice aromatherapy properties. This has orange, bergamot, apricot, apple, lavender, all of that inside the product. This is about the serving size that you would want to use for the Goji Berry Kambuka cleanser. Before you emulsify it in your hands, this is what it should look like. You really only need about this much. A little bit goes a long way with this product. Products are meant to work with water. Foaming cleansers need water to activate them so that you can get the surfactants going and you can get your suds action going. When your suds action is starting to look a little less, you might need to add a little bit more water, which is what I have to do here. If your product is not sudsing or foaming like you expect it to, you just need to add a little bit more water to the product. Make sure that when you're cleansing, you're getting everywhere, including the eyebrows. When removing the product, make sure you remove all product. Anything that stays on the skin could continue to process. Sometimes that might mean you have to wipe twice. This is the size that is necessary for the creamy exfoliating mojito cleanser. This is a non-foaming cleanser. So when I add water to it, I'm not expecting that I'm going to have any foaming action. It is not supposed to have that. It does have beads inside of it, jojoba beads, to help exfoliate slightly. Why is it okay for us to use this when we're using a peel after this? It's okay because these jojoba beads are very gentle, very mild, so I can still continue on with my peel after using this product. Now that we're done with our second step of our cleanse for our client, this is the step where we would decide if we're going to be doing extractions or not, or where they would fall inside the procedure. So my client right now, she doesn't need any extractions. However, with the blueberry peel, I could do my extractions prior. And I know some people might think, well, what about if I'm using a higher grade peel? Well, if I'm using a higher grade peel, I would probably extract afterwards so that I don't put my peel inside of any holes that I've made while I'm trying to do my extractions. This blueberry peel is extremely gentle. So if I had a few extractions, I could do it before or I could do it after. I could choose where I'm going to do it. This young lady right here, though, she doesn't need any, so I can go ahead and move on with the service. We're going to be using our blueberry peel on our client. I'm going to have to scoop out my product out of my container because we all know that we cannot contaminate our product by dipping our brushes inside of them. Remember, if you're using brushes, remember to wet your brushes first. Wet brushes don't soak up your products. Dry brushes do. So when I go to apply this to my client, I'm going to try to get an even application. I'm going to start at her forehead, and then I'm going to go down to the chin area and then back up. Make sure you spread it out evenly. Apply more to your brush when you need it. Inside this product, it has beautiful exfoliating methods. It contains mandelic acid, which comes from almonds. It is very, very gentle. People with sensitive skin can use it. It also has papaya and pineapple, which means it has papain and bromelain enzymes inside of it. Now we allow this to sit on the skin for about 10 minutes to let it do its work. Your client does have a little bit of pinkness to it, but that is because the product is pink. So when you see that little pink on the face, that is because your product is that color. Next, we're going to be putting underneath our mask the Organic Bakuchio Desert Cactus Serum. So let's talk about this serum a little bit while we apply. It contains desert cacti containing retinol alternatives, which can also be used for sensitive skin. The octillo is also inside of the product. That's a semi-succulent and also good for anti-inflammatories. Anytime that you have a desert plant that can survive in a very dry climate, that means it has to have very good moisture retention properties. And by putting this inside the serum, it allows the skin to have very good ingredients that allow it to have moisture retaining properties. Next, we're going to be using the ID Skin Moisture Mask. We're going to apply this to our client with a wet brush again. This stays on the client's skin for 10 minutes. You don't need a super thick layer on the skin. Make sure that you thin it out slightly while you put it over. You can use a brush. You can use a 4x4. Some people will use their hands, but professionals choose to use some type of applicator. When removing the product, be aware that this does have somewhat of a clay base, so you might have to swipe an extra few times with your 4x4 towel or compressed sponges, however you are choosing to remove this product. The next step that we're going to be doing is massaging the face. I'm going to choose to use 2 products and mix them together and to do my massage. So the first product that I'm going to mix together is going to be my Lemon Balm Jelly and the Moisture Intensive Serum. I have the product in both hands. That is about as much as you're going to need to do your massage. I'm going to mix them together in my hands. And now that they are mixed, this is what it should look like. I'm going to make sure that I deposit my product evenly across the skin. Then I will come in and massage after that, so I don't have any type of dry area on the skin that might hurt when I'm dragging my hands across. Now we're going to remove our mask with our towel. Make sure that your towel is nice and saturated with water, but nice and warm for your client. You can press the towel in a little bit to make sure that you're getting all the excess product off. You're going to gently swipe any of the excess oil off of the skin. And just do one more swipe to make sure that you get every single bit of it off of the skin before you move on to the next step. After we remove the oil off of the skin, we're going to quickly just do a quick tone of the skin with the Wild Plum Toner. We're going to make sure that we don't have any excess oil still on the skin. We needed it for the slip, for the massage, but now we want to make sure we don't have a ton of it on there. Now that we have removed all oil from the skin, we are going to go in with our serum again with our organic Pakuchi oil desert cactus serum. It's okay to have this serum in the service twice. The skin is always thirsty for more ingredients that it is hungry for, the products that it needs. It's okay to add it a second time. And the reason why we added it before the mask was so that it would get pushed in further. And this is what we're going to put on before we put our moisturizer on to feed the skin. Don't forget, with this product, it is made from desert plants. It is wonderful for retaining moisture. And let's be honest, most people are lacking moisture in their skin, whether it is because of their age, their amount of water intake, the health of them. And there's nothing better than getting a product that you can topically put on to fill in that gap. Our next step is going to be adding an eye cream. For this one, we're going to be using the Organic Plus Watermelon Tourmaline Eye Cream. You only need about a pea size. With this product, that one little pea size, I'm going to distribute for both eyes, and I'm going to gently dab it around the eye. We are not going to be putting this inside the eye, just around the occipital ridge, a little bit up into the brow area, and we're going to continue to just dab it until it goes into the skin. Next, we're going to be reusing the Lemon Balm Jelly again as our moisturizer for the occlusiveness of the treatment. When applying the moisturizer, I'm not going to rub it in as much as I would massage with, because that's not the purpose of this step. The purpose of this step is to make sure that I cover all the skin to create an occlusive small barrier on the skin to protect it from any bit of transepidermal water loss. Our final step of the facial is applying sun guard. We must have SPF anytime we do any service that has a peeling agent inside of it, but also we do it for just basic sun defense. We only need about this much. And when we apply it to the skin, we will be patting it in. If I were to rub it, it's going to create white streaks all over the face. Why does it have white to it? That's because it has titanium dioxide and zinc oxide inside of it, which is what's going to protect you from UVA and UVB exposure, which is also the #1 thing that ages our skin.
All right, let's see if I can go back now to the slideshow.
Jen, did you love that video? You're muted.
Sorry, new to Zoom. Hi. You guys are the most clear and concise video creators ever. We've seen several of these demo videos. And not only the tips that you guys put in there, I'm sorry, wet your brush. I have been doing skincare for 20 years and I've never done that before, and it is genius.
Oh, well,
I love
thank you. Sarah's wonderful, and we're so happy to have her, on our team and able to describe. She's an educator at one of the local schools here, so she teaches all day, every day, and it's wonderful to have her on our team.
No, we loved that video. I love the video because one of the things that I wanted to be able to literally smell and taste every one of these products, because when you're like talking about tourmaline and watermelon, I'm just sort of like, these have to have the most unbelievable like fragrances. And the goji berry, like I have to tell you, I worked for a vegan juice bar, and the owner of that company was like, I think the world should have goji berries in everything. Like they put goji berries in every smoothie that they made because of their powerful antioxidant properties. So I think that these products are extraordinary, and I can't wait to find out how you guys do private label, because one of the things that we're going to be doing, Kristen, is there is a content creator that I met at IECSC who teaches a whole class in what estheticians can do to private label. We're going to be bringing her on board. So there's going to be a lot of estheticians who are going to want to know about how to get access to a manufacturer for private label, because we're going to be teaching more on that, because estheticians who do really well with products can do so well with private label. So we'll be sending them directly over to you to get private label product after they take that class. So tell us more about your product line and how they can private label with you.
Sounds great. Now, are you seeing my slides?
Yes.
Okay, the goji berry. All right. What I'm going to do here is just quickly go through those products at a high level, and then we'll get into the private label piece. The goji berry, as Barry was saying, is just a super antioxidant, and that's basically why we have it in the cleanser. The kombucha part of it is a probiotic, so that really helps to provide skin balance and skin health. So that's the first product in this line. And then we go to the creamy exfoliating mojito cleanser. Again, it's a very mild exfoliator, and it's got the jojoba beads as well as other ingredients that are very calming to the skin. So this is a non-soap based exfoliator, so it does not foam up. It is, again, for this whole line of organic products, is really great for sensitive skin, and it's great for all skin Fitzpatrick types. The Wild Plum Toner, again, this one smells absolutely divine. To your point, Barry, this is my favorite smelling product. We have 3 different types of wild plums, which again bring vitamin C into the picture. We've got some mineral-rich seawater that helps replenish the moisture, and blueberry leaf and watermelon. So again, very, very antioxidant heavy product. The next one is the blueberry peel, which I know Sarah went over in pretty good detail in the video. But what I love about this peel is that it's so mild yet effective. And mandelic acid is an AHA, which it's a smaller AHA than some of the others. It is, like I mentioned before, really good for all skin tones. It's very mild. Even people with sensitive skin can tolerate this. And then, of course, you've got the pineapple and papaya extracts in that product as well. So this is honestly one of my favorite products. We actually came out, little side note, with this product during COVID, and we put it in a home facial kit because, of course, people couldn't go and get peels, but everybody wanted to keep up their skincare regimen. And so we created this product during COVID just for that purpose. And then another hero product within this line is the Bakuchiol Desert Cactus Serum. The Bakuchiol is a vitamin A alternative. So again, really, really great for folks with sensitive skin who can't tolerate a retinol or a prescription tretinoin. And then you've got all the other desert cactus components in this serum, which help with the moisture. The lemon balm jelly is another very light moisturizer that works very well to soothe sensitive skin and blemish prone skin. It smells absolutely wonderful. You can see with all the oils, the balsam wood and sandalwood and the licorice. So it smells really wonderful. And then lastly, the watermelon tourmaline eye cream. Watermelon is again very with vitamins A, C, and E, and has a lot of antioxidants. And then the tourmaline gemstones create sort of a little a shimmer, and that helps to reflect light under the eyes and make the appearance be more favorable. So now I want to transition into the private label side. And Trilogy Laboratories is the overarching company. We have the ID Skin brand, and then we do contract manufacturing and private label under that umbrella. So we are the manufacturer of products for our brand as well as many others. But the private label and the custom manufacturing are really very much core parts of our laboratory. And you know, as a pharmacist, that was one of my passions, was to be able to formulate and create and compound products, basically. This is a few photos from our lab, and Barry, you'll recognize it. Barry made a visit a few months ago. So this is our lobby. This is our corporate side of the office.
And Kristen, I have to tell you, like, I did not feel like I was in a skincare company. I felt like I was in a high-end luxury, like, magazine office. Jenny, this is what I feel like the lip gloss and aftershave headquarters should look like, don't you think?
Sign me up. This just
Right?
screams. Oh my God, it's so chic, it's so clean, it's so modern. I cannot wait to visit this, Kristen.
Yeah,
it's amazing. Like, yeah, seriously.
We welcome any of you anytime. Honestly, we love to show off and have our this side of it, which is great. But then we also have this side, which is our manufacturing facility. And you can see we've got mixers in the back, and then we've got filling machines, and it's neat and clean. And you know, we conform to all the regulations and just have a great time doing our manufacturing. Again, it's small batch, it's not huge, but it serves our purposes really well, and it serves our customers' purposes.
Kristen, I have a question. So everything takes place on site. So you guys are literally like, what are they? I forget that saying, nuts to something.
Yeah.
Everything. So
yeah,
packaging, shipping, all of it.
right. Full service.
Fantastic.
Well, we don't drop ship. So, you know, if we have had some customers who've wanted that, but we don't do that. We drop ship our own products. So if you were to order ID Skin, you would be getting it shipped from here, but we don't offer that as a service to other private label groups. Everything goes to their facility.
Okay, good to know.
So now we can talk a little bit about private label and, you know, why private label. And it goes back to, I guess, 15 years ago when my husband wanted to start private labeling. You know, as a physician, he really felt that private label was going to give his company an edge. Okay, as a healthcare provider or as an esthetician, you are the expert, and you're the one who patients are coming to for treatments. You have a very special opportunity to be able to recommend products to those patients. And when you have a product that has your own spa name on it, you're seen even more as the expert, because you've branched out not just to services, but also to products. So it's really a next level type of a thing.
And Kristen, can I just want to, like, I want to just hop in really quickly because there's something that I did because we private labeled in companies that I've worked for in the past. And when our national brands that we carried found out that we were going to private label, they got a little nervous because they thought that was going to eat into their sales. And so what I left them know was that the number one thing is that we're not trying to make private label the only thing that we sell. And what we did was we had several very high profile national brands that customers could find, know, and trust. And then we had our private label products sitting on the shelves next to them. And what we were able to do is we were able to control the retail price a little bit more on our private label products. So if there were more price conscious customers who wanted a vitamin C, they would go with ours. But if there was that like label conscious customer, they would go with the national brand. And we also gave our estheticians a little bit higher percentage to sell our private label than the national brands, but we still sold national brands and did very well with them. We just augmented it with our own product line. And sometimes clients bought ours and the national brands together. And so I think that's the beautiful mix. I feel like it's too hard to have just one brand in any facility. You need multiple brands to be able to interact with all your clients. And that's my like tip of the day when it comes to it. So I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, it's a really interesting take on it. And I'll tell you that from in my husband's practice, he took the opposite philosophy and he said, I'm going to make every single thing that we're going to sell, with a few exceptions, things that, I mean, we're not a prescription drug lab, so we don't make prescription drugs, but he wanted to have a label that was total and complete. So he's got like 39 SKUs, which is a lot. I mean, I would never recommend that for any spa to start out with. He's developed a really big name with his products and with his practice. And so he's able to support that. There's very little pushback in terms of not having something that's available. But I do totally get what you're saying. And I think that there are a lot of patients who like the national brands, and there are some hero products that those national brands have. And I totally think that that's reasonable. And also, if anybody's just starting out, you can't just start out with an entire line. You have to start, dip your toe in, figure it out, get it going, buy into it, and then build it from there.
Yeah, and that your husband is, I mean, he's a plastic surgeon with a few years of experience and a very large practice. So when customers walk in the door and they see this impressive office with this thriving business, and he says, this is the line that I created, the trust factor is there. But if you're an esthetician and you're starting out and you're newer, you need those national brands to sort of like reinforce your newness, and not to reinforce it, but to help establish your credibility. And then as you become more advanced, like the private label can become a larger part. But yeah, we did that and customers really loved it. So that was a great approach because it gave a greater breadth to our product offering. But I'll let you get back to your thing. And you see, here's the thing that's so funny is we're already at 2:35, and I know you were worried about an hour not being long enough. I'm like, oh girl, the way we talk, we'll keep you busy. Don't worry.
Yeah, well, it's flowing right along. So you're right. I shouldn't have been worried. So another concept of why to private label is that those products sit on your client's countertop and they are used by them every day. And so if your spa name is on those products, then it's top of mind. And that's, another very good plus in terms of just keeping your spa name around. And next time they need a service, they're going to remember. Another reason is that the clients can only get the product from you. So no one goes to Amazon or to a competing spa to get the products, or online anywhere. And I think it's so important that you be able to keep that business that you've cultivated, those customers and clients that you have educated and you have, gotten on a regimen. It's important for them to come back to you so that you're the one that keeps getting that annuity of the product purchase. As Barry alluded to, margins are better on the private label product than on wholesale products for the national brands, and therefore the profits are better for you. Now, they may be at a lower price point, which, if you sell a $150 national brand product and you've paid $75 for it, you'll get $75. But if you're selling more of the private label products that are the margin is better, you're getting more than double the profit, maybe you're getting 3 times the profit, then you can actually do quite well. So let's talk a little bit about how do you private label. And I put here, step 1 is figure out your niche, and Barry alluded to that too. Who are you? Who do you serve? Is it an organic type of a product that your customers are wanting? Is it a product or products that are missing in your line that you don't maybe have, that you could private label and supplement your line with some of those products? Are you looking for super high-end looking products? And those can be achieved with private label nowadays. I mean, it didn't used to be, but now we have access to such better packaging. We have access to screen printing and hot stamping, and even a full wrap label can look absolutely beautiful. So you can create a high-end line in a private label setting. You may also, which I didn't put here on the slide, but you may also want a more medical line. And in that case, you'll just select products that fit with a more medical line. But the first thing, to decide is who am I and what do I want to target? Because you can't target everything and you can't be everything to everybody. So decide on something that makes sense to you, and then start with that piece of it. And so what are the steps? When we take people through the private label process here at Trilogy, we have 5 different steps that we do. Step 1 is requesting samples. So again, once you figure out what niche you're going to be in and what types of things you want to private label, you can request different samples and start to use those samples and see what you think about the products. You can also, as I mentioned, because we private label everything from ID Skin, you can purchase that in a retail setting or in a back bar setting and use those products to get comfortable with them and really see, again, what fits your clientele and what fits your particular practice, since everybody is a little bit different. And I just was going to show you, samples are available at www.trilogylaboratories.com. I know if I click this, the screen sharing will get wonky, so I'm not going to click it, but there's a whole section on sample products, and there's all kinds of information about the product that you can read and decide which products may be desirable for your practice. And then the next thing to select would be your packaging. Once you know which products you want, you're going to want to look at packaging. And I've given you a couple options here. These are some pictures and photos of our stock packaging, and this is what we call our classic collection, and it's very simple. But if you put a nice label on these products, it looks totally different and it looks wonderful. So you can do pops of color, you can do metallic. It can be super nice, but these are very simple and very reasonably priced packages. And oftentimes the packaging, I'll just say parenthetically that the packaging can be super expensive, even compared to the product, which is kind of unbelievable, but it's true. This is another set of packaging that we carry. This is what our Organic Plus line is in. It's the bamboo and the frosted glass, and it makes a really nice and very cute line. And then this is another option. These are clear a little bit more upscale than the classic collection and a little bit pricier, but still, again, putting a label on it, you could do a clear label so you could see the product through the label, and especially some of the products that are colored look absolutely beautiful in this packaging. And we will help with packaging in terms of knowing what products to put in what packages. Sometimes they're incompatible, not necessarily from a chemical perspective, but sometimes, but mostly it's the dispensing function. We want to make sure that whatever package you choose for your product is going to work to dispense it the way that it needs to be dispensed. And then here's another option with the gold top. We have a whole gold line as well, and that can look absolutely stunning. And then for step 3, you're going to provide your logo and the name for your products. And here's where it can get super fun. You can look at the back ingredient decks, and you can pick out anything that you want to highlight on your product name. It can be super fun, super creative. You know, the sky's the limit. So that's where for me it becomes really exciting, because you can really create a line that is yours and that you are promoting in a certain way, that something in that ingredient deck that speaks to you and you want to call out. So, and you don't have to keep our names. We have named everything, you know, something, but you can change that. And I've just been amazed by the creativity that some of our customers have. It's wonderful. Step 4 is we have a designer, graphic designer, that works with you to design your label and get them approved. And we go through that process, and it usually takes a couple of weeks to get that done, a little back and forth. It always helps if you have an idea about what you want it to look like, and you have maybe some things to show the designer, that things that you like, so that she can go off of that to design the product just for you. Now, we do a totally custom approach, and there are some others that are simply taking your logo and putting it on the product. And we design it from the ground up, so we're able to do a completely 100% custom look. Certainly, if you wanted just your logo simply on the bottle, that can be done too. But the sky's the limit in terms of the way that we do our labels, and that's what I think makes the line really truly custom and truly yours. Lastly, after you've done all those steps, then you go ahead and place your order, and you launch your branded products with a big celebration.
I love the look on her face. So, okay, this opened up a few questions that I want to pull up from the Q&A first, and then we can have another discussion. So Rosangela, beautiful name, Rosangela. She asked if ID Skin had product that helped with acne specifically.
Yes, we do. We have what we call the Clear Skin collection, and that is based on acne. I believe there's 6 or 7 products, everything from cleansers to toner to moisturizer. There's a blue tansy moisturizer in that collection. There's a spot treatment, and thinking what else?
There's a mask, because I've used it on my son. Yes, it is like is it clay-based, because it dries, but it never gets flaky or cakey or dried. It's phenomenal, very gentle, very mild. Love that one.
Yeah, some willow bark extract and some lemon balm.
Yeah. So. Okay, so that was that one. And then moving back into the private label spectrum, any recommendations on where to go to get an inexpensive logo? Do you have people that you work with?
Yes. So I'll just, we do. And okay. I would say that they're middle of the road in terms of cost. You can go to online, something called Fiverr.com, Fiver. Amazing, creative people that will create a logo for you in like 24, 48 hours. So it's worth a shot for sure.
Absolutely. We've used Fiverr before, you guys. At the beginning of the business, we reached out to them to create specific little assets, and you can literally like narrow down and filter who you want and where you want them, and all of that to search just the right person. So that's a great suggestion.
I have a ton of questions. Can I ask? Can you hear me, Jen?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so my question is this. Christine said 99 designs is great. Did you see that in the chat?
Great.
So is there a initial setup fee for the program?
There is. We have a design fee that is based on how much time you need with the graphic designer. And that is set at $69 an hour. It usually takes about an hour per label to do, roughly. If you do 5 labels or more, then we discount that down because it's not the same, for every hour of label that's done. And then there's just a flat $150 fee that covers your first set of labels. And then from there, it's just the price of the product from forevermore.
Okay, and then when I say, okay, I want to create 3 products. I want to create 3 products with you guys. I want to do a cleanser, I want to do a serum, and I want to do a moisturizer. And I want to do them in a very high-end look. And I want them to be all very like anti-aging focused. And so I come in and it's $150 plus $69 an hour for the label creation. And I'm a little nervous about how much I want to invest. So what's the smallest amount of product I have to buy to get started?
So we only have a minimum order quantity of 12 pieces. So
Okay.
that's really great. There are tiered prices too. So you're going to pay a little bit more for 12 pieces than you are on a unit basis if you do 50 or 100. But if you're just starting out, it's a great way to not have that stuff sitting on your shelf, for too long. So I think that I'm just going to spitball it here, but I've seen a lot of orders come in with just 12 pieces, and I would say you can probably get started and do your first orders for 3 products for between $500 to $750 total, including the setup costs.
And so then let's just say this. I say, oh, you know what I want to do is I want to create a signature facial for my business to launch this. So I want to use all 3 of those products in my back bar. Can I buy back bar sizes from you?
Yes, absolutely. And we can either sell it with the ID label on it, or we put your label on it. And we've done that for a number of people. We actually private label the back bar too.
And then somebody just asked another question, which could be a great next, and I go to this one, which is, what is the lead time? So like once, let me just make sure I get her question correctly, and I'm having a difficult time in this. What is the lead time once the label design is completed to get product in-house?
So it takes us, once the design is completed, it takes us about 10 days to 2 weeks to get the labels once they're ordered. So 2 weeks once we get the labels, and then we strive to have them out the door within 2 weeks. So it should be a month from when you finish your label design.
Okay, brilliant.
And then on reorder, it should be 2 to 3 weeks because we don't have to wait for the labels.
Okay, and so that's amazing. And for me, the other thing that I think is very, very cool, and we didn't really get into a lot of nuts and bolts in it, but I think it's so key to understand, because I was working in the past, I worked with a physician, and he didn't understand retail at all. He did exactly what your husband did, and he got rid of all brands and only sold his own. And what he was doing was he was taking the price of the private label product that he was getting from the manufacturer and just doubling it. And I told him, I said, you're not charging enough for these products. And he said, well, we're doubling the price. I said, yeah, but that's a very, very, very favorable price. You know, when you look at the market of the industry, and you look at what a vitamin C serum out there in the industry costs, most national brands are charging, hypothetical numbers, $100. You're buying it from that manufacturer for 50, doubling it, that's the normal retail markup, and selling it for 100 on your shelf. Because you're private labeling, you're getting that product for $25. Doubling it to 50, you're losing a ton of money. You need to mark that product to $100 and take that extra $25 as profit. And he was like, oh my God, that's amazing. So that's the number one thing that estheticians need to take into consideration is when pricing these private label products, the margins are so favorable that you look at what that product would get in an outside line, and then you price according to that. So it's just, it's so lucrative. It really is.
Barry, I want to like totally piggyback off that, because in so many of these webisodes that we do, we always talk about building and bundling and how to upsell, right? And I think a private label product, even if you start with just one, right? Like you carry big national brand XYZ, and you start with your one signature product that you have found this gap in the market and that you can't find one that you love. So you private label, you create your own, maybe you build that into a series treatment. And so that becomes your way of making more money. So you don't have use private label as a tool, right? You guys, like, don't just stick to the ABCs, like think outside the box.
I love. Yes, it's genius, Jen, absolutely. So there's so many different ways. And the thing about it that I love is Etasha, Jen, Etasha is going to have all of these tips and ideas. And we will definitely, use ID Skin Pro Trilogy Labs as a go-to vendor if they want to get private label after they take that class. So that's amazing. Yeah, I think there's so many. Is it possible to make home kits? Anika, you get bonus points. Can you please email me, Barry at lipglossandaftershave.com and say hello? Because I need to get to know you, because you get bonus points today. Her question is it possible to make home care kits through private label?
Absolutely.
And does the cost go down for reordering? That's one we missed that one too.
So yeah, the cost, you don't have the setup costs for reorder. So there's none of the setup costs that are there. Those setup costs, and that's sometimes we have to talk people through. It's like that first initial amount, it can be amortized over the lifetime of your private label brand, right? Once you pay for that design of the label, unless you redesign it, that fee is done. You don't pay that anymore. So it's just the cost of the product from there forward.
And then, can you do travel kits?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Oh, that's amazing, because
and those are great. That we can do samples. I mean, we do samples for some folks too, because they want to be able to sample their patients before their patients purchase. So we can do samples, and we can also do travel kits.
And Jenny, I'm going to recommend to every skincare vendor on the planet nowadays that they make a cleanser. They just automatically have every cleanser available in a 3-ounce container. Because my challenge is when we're doing how many trips this month? I'm doing like 5 trips. We're going to Canada, I'm going to Trinidad, and I'm going to Portland. All of them are fast turnarounds. So I'm not gonna check luggage. So I had to go to CVS and buy a little cleanser container to put my cleanser in. All my serums and moisturizers are under 3 ounces, but the cleansers aren't. So if everybody sold a 3-ounce cleanser, I would buy that to have it to put into my travel bag so that I didn't have to do the generic one. So I think that's a smart way to go. But this has been great.
Bear, there's one more question. Karina, another amazing participant today. Karina, I think that you, clarify if I'm wrong, I'm not sure if you're referring to the ID Skin Pro line, Trilogy Labs, but she asked, good for cancer patients or diabetic patients. So do you have products that have addressed either of these arenas?
Yes, we have a number of individual products within both lines. Obviously, we could private label them, or they're in the ID Skin Pro line that are gentle enough for either of those situations. Yes.
Perfect. Oh my gosh, wait, another question coming in. Hold on. Ah, great. That was her response. And she said, thank you. So Amazing. I think we've gotten through everyone's questions in the chat. But Kristen, where can everyone and anyone get in touch with you? Should they have more questions or something pop up in the meantime after this?
Sure. So trilogylaboratories.com is our
Okay.
website, or idskinpro.com. That's the place where you can actually sign up for an account. And when you become a partner, you log in, you give us your license number, or if you're a student, you just tell us you're a student, and then we approve you, and then you get access to all the information that's on the site, because we do only sell to professionals. So that's the best place. You can contact us at customer service at trilogylaboratories.com if you have any questions, and we're happy to answer.
We have one more in the chat. Do you have a good facial oil that would be a nice accent for gua sha?
We have actually 2 face oils. One is called Moisture Intensive Serum, and it's jojoba and squalane. The other one is called Timeless Moisture, and it has a number of exotic oils in it. So they're kind of at opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of price. One is real simple and the other is more exotic. But and I would also say that we do custom manufacturing as well. So we do make products just from the ground up. If you have a specific product that you have in mind, we can certainly talk about that too. It's different pricing and everything else, and different minimums. Obviously, it's a higher minimum if we're doing something that's just a custom formula versus using one of our stock formulations.
Okay.
Amazing. Oh, I love this.
info.
This was so much fun.
I know.
I don't know why I love private label. I think it's so much fun to talk about. And I think it really gets into helping estheticians and spa owners truly become like a creative entrepreneur. And I think it's just so fun. Anything left, Jenny, any final thoughts from you?
I'm just excited. And I feel like that there are so many options with ID Skin, and maybe getting to know that brand and then tapping into Trilogy. And Kristen, I feel like you are a wealth of knowledge that they will be able to get all of the answers from. So you guys—
Hold on, I have to do this in honor of Christine Frolova. Great webinar today. Do you want me to say that and then snap my fingers? There you go. There you go. So also, just to let you know, we are going to give everybody who registered all of your emails. We're going to give them to ID Skin Pro. So Kristen, you'll be able to send everybody that watched this an email saying if you have any questions, or you want to order samples, or you want to set up an account to get started. Like, there's a lot of opportunity, and I'm so looking forward to it. And if anybody does do a private label, we need to know about it, because I want to try your product. I want you to send it to me, and we'll do a shout out on our Instagram.
Keep us posted, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. So Jenny, any final thoughts from you?
All set.
Kristen, any final thoughts from you?
All set. Thank you so much for, hosting this webinar today. And thank you for the opportunity to speak to everybody about really the best kept secret.
Oh, it's amazing. And this will live forever, because as I'm about to say, if you took the time out to register and tune in with us today, we love you. I mean, you took time out of your day to spend with us, so we're so grateful. But if you're watching this on the replay, we love you guys too, and you will be getting this within 24 hours. So we did this yesterday if you're watching it. But if you're one of the more than 6,000 app holders, the LNA mobile app, I don't know if you knew this, Kristen, but we have a mobile app that has almost 6,000 downloads. So after 30 days, we will put this on the app, and then our app users know that they can log into the VIP section and watch all of our previous downloads. So if you're on the app and you're watching, don't forget to reach out to ID Skin Pro, and then keep scrolling, keep learning. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.
Bye. Thanks.